Folks, it is not clickbait, it's true. Porsche decided that to do the spark plug change on a 718 GT4 and the GTS and Spyder with the 4-liter engine, yeah, you need their own very specific tool, and it doesn't seem like anybody else makes the same one. I actually spent nearly $200 on this. But you may not have to buy one. I have a plan, just wait to the end of the video. But first, I'm gonna tell you my top 5 tips to make sure that you are successful at changing the spark plugs and coil packs on your 718 with the 4-liter engine. Let's get started. Now, before we get started, if you have a 981 GT4 with that 3.8-liter engine, you don't need the special tool, don't worry. You only need the regular 5/8 inch spark plug socket, but it's gonna look very similar. You're gonna have still some of these access issues that I will talk about in the video. And if you have a GT4 RS or Spyder RS, the engine is different. And so I don't know exactly what it looks like. It's gonna be, again, a similar situation. Again, you don't need this tool. However, you do need a slightly expensive special Hazit socket tool. It's the 4766-2, and you can get that. I'll have a link down below. In this video, I'll also be changing my spark plug coil packs. Now, you don't have to do that, but I have had bad experiences on other cars where I changed the coil packs and there were still misfires. It's almost like pulling the packs themselves just caused them to no longer be good. So I think it's a worthy measure, but it does increase the costs of the procedure quite a bit. I'll leave that up to you. Everything I talk about, I'll have links and part numbers down in the description. This is not a full tutorial. I fully expect you to have already had spark plug change experience, understand how it works, how the system works, and what parts you're working with. More importantly, I just want to give you those tips so that you're successful when you attack this car. Because the actual spark plug change isn't that difficult, it's just the access and tool issues that Porsche handed us. Honestly, my first attempt to change the spark plugs on this totally failed. I went over to the Carpokes garage to film this, and I went home with the car exactly the way it was, and really no complete video to work with. I don't want that happening to you. Now, you heard me mention the Carpokes garage. That's the sponsor of today's video. Carpokes is a Porsche-focused enthusiast forum with a ton of great technical information and a genuinely good community without all that corporate BS. One really cool post on Carpokes is this. Did you know that you can wire up your own PSE exhaust valve controller? Yeah, you don't have to spend money on those ones on the internet. You can make one for a fraction of the price, and it's on there. This is just one example of one of the many helpful posts on Carpokes. Membership is free, and you can sign up at carpokes.com. All right, folks, starting with tip number 1, yep, the spark plug socket. It is very special, apparently. This is the special spark plug socket by Porsche. It is made by Hazit. There is no Hazit equivalent available to purchase somewhere. You have to get it from Porsche for now. It's specially designed for the 4-liter engine. It has some narrow spark plug tubes that where they meet the spark plug, it's at a slight angle, and anything thicker than this just won't allow the spark plug to start to thread. This thing is only 17.3 millimeters in diameter and 1 millimeter thick at its thinnest point. Apparently, it's very special. It's like made of titanium or something. Well, it's $170, and then taxes and shipping, it's almost $200 to your door. That sucks. Now, I thought that there would be an alternative. Surely there's an alternative. I looked through forum posts and I was like, okay, 14 millimeter narrow barrel. Okay, great. I found something on Amazon. This has got to work. Nope, it did not work. If I would have finished reading those posts, I would have learned that people had tried many sockets they thought would work, and none of them worked. Even if you go to Pelican Parts and it says, yes, this is the special expensive socket you need, it's not, folks. It is not. You must buy this one until things change. And if you happen to have figured out another socket that works, please let us know in the comments, but don't comment unless you've actually tested it, because I'm betting you haven't found one yet. That's the story so far, at least. Okay, on to tip number 2. Now, most cars, you're gonna change the spark plugs through the top of the engine bay. Well, you don't have to do that on this car because it's mounted low just ahead of the rear wheels. And so this isn't so much as a tip, it's just something to prepare you. How are you gonna access the spark plugs? Well, it's here, and you're gonna wanna take off your rear wheel as well as remove the underbody panels so you have, easier tool access. The spaces are tight, so every little bit helps. Now, if you've never removed the underbody panels, especially on your GT4 or Spyder, I have all the details in my oil change video. I'll have a link to that down below. I don't want to clog up this video with those details this time, but check it out. Once the wheels and underbody panels are off, you'll see the heat shields that protect the ignition coils and wiring from the hot exhaust. These are held on with 3 T30 screws, but you only need to remove that upper heat shield. There's also an O2 sensor wire clipped along the top edge of the heat shield, so make sure you unclip that before pulling the shield out from under the car. Now, before you go reaching down there in the area that Porsche decided would be a torture device, you're gonna wanna protect yourself unless you just like blood. That's right, it's super sharp there. It's a tight space. Your hand and your forearm are gonna be rubbing up in there, and on the frame, there's these really sharp spatters of like weld material or something, like needles. When I first did this, it tore up my rubber glove, and I felt the irritation in my hand, and it was kind of red, but it wasn't until the next day that my hand looked like this, as if I'd been playing with kittens all day. Yeah, it was not a thing you want. So I taped it up the second time around. I used gaffer tape. It's a fabric tape I really love, sticks to most things, but you could use painter's tape too, of course. Just double it up, or maybe even some duct tape. Just make sure you remove it before it leaves any nasty residue. When I was at the Carpokes garage, I only brought some tools, and Tom there only had his own, and we definitely didn't have what we needed to even get the first coil pack bolt out. My T30 socket was just too long, so we ended up just pulling the bit out of the socket, cutting it short, putting it back in the socket, and then the combination of the T30 and my ratchet fit just between the frame and the coil bolt, enough to break the bolt loose. After that, I only used the socket with my fingers to loosen the bolt even more, and then when I ran out of clearance there, I just used my fingers on the bolt. The bolt doesn't need to come all the way out, it stays with the coil. But when I got home and tried it my second time around, using this setup was much easier. This is a little tiny ratchet and a regular T30 bit. The only problem was it wasn't very long, so I found that it didn't have a lot of leverage to break that bolt loose. So consider that. I'm sure you'll find a way with a setup similar like this. That first coil and spark plug at the aft position is the hardest, but as you move forward on the driver's side, it gets easier. It took me over 2 hours, probably, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. I don't know, I didn't time it, plus I was filming, so it took like 5 hours. But when I got to the passenger side, there's so much more clearance. It's a lot easier. It took me an hour to knock it out. Extensions and swivels are critical when removing the spark plugs because managing the tight space is pretty much the entire game in this situation. I strongly suggest a locking extension, but I actually didn't have one. You don't want to lose something down that spark plug hole. That will be a pain in the butt. There were multiple times where just adding an extension or a universal joint was enough to finally get into that spark plug hole and then the right extensions to then have my wrench move freely. It's all about having, you know, a variety to choose from. Now, when it came to the actual parts, there's a few to choose from, but for the spark plugs, I just went with the Porsche branded ones. They are made by NGK, but I honestly couldn't determine exactly which NGKs they were. If you know, be sure to comment below, but there are some misleading links out there, I think. So I stuck with the Porsche ones and they weren't that much more expensive. But the coil packs, on the other hand, there was a huge difference between the Porsche branded ones and the OE ones. Remember, the OE ones are the same coil packs. They just don't have Porsche on the box and maybe written on the part. You'll save a lot by getting those instead. I'll link them down below. Okay, let's remove those coil packs. Slide back that yellow lock. Press the thumb switch and use a tool as needed to free the connector off of there. Remove the retaining bolt last, as it kind of holds the coil pack in place and it's easier to pull off the connector when it's stable. Sometimes rotating the coil slightly while pulling it out helps, and since it's rubber, it's flexible, it comes out of that tight space easily. With the coil pack removed, you can fully access the spark plug using the Porsche socket. It's way down in this tube. This is where the tool really earns its keep. Now, for my fifth tip, one really interesting note from the Porsche service manual was how you insert the spark plugs. They were very specific to say that you need to insert the spark plug with the electrode at the 12 o'clock position, and then once it's there, you can thread it in. This ensures that the electrode is in the optimum position once it's fully seated. You also want to have your extensions on there in such a way that allows you to slide the spark plug in there as smoothly as possible. You see that spark plug tube is sort of angled to how the spark plug sits, and that's why you need this really thin socket. But if you slide it in there and it's not lined up properly, you risk dinging the electrode against the cylinder head, and then you could change the gap on the spark plug. You don't want that, because then you're not going to get optimal performance, or it may just start to misfire. Before you insert the plug though, make sure you lube up that insulator and don't put anti-seize on the threads. I know some people taught you to do that, but you don't want to do that on these plugs. They didn't come that way, and it's going to affect the torque values if you put anti-seize on. Initially, thread those plugs in by hand gently. If you feel any resistance, back out. Make sure there's no dirt or crud in there. Maybe you need to blow it out or something. Once you get them seated, you gotta torque them down properly. The proper torque is 15 Newton meters, equivalent to 11 foot-pounds. The ignition coil bolts get torqued down to 10 Newton meters, which is about 7.5 foot-pounds, if you've got a torque wrench that can fit in there. Otherwise, I just say Guten tight. But you want them tight enough, you don't want them backing out. I had one back out once and my car ran like absolute crap. I checked the codes, I think it was like 7 or was it 17 codes? It was nuts. Telling me I had cam phaser issues, all this stuff, I was scared. Turned out, just a loose coil pack. It doesn't have a code for just a misfire apparently. Anyway, I don't want you to face that. Now, before we wrap up, remember I said you may not have to buy this socket? Is true. That's because on my website, I'm going to make this tool available nearly for free. That's right, you just pay a round trip ticket for the socket and I'll send it out to you. A deposit will be required, but I'll refund the deposit as soon as that socket gets back to me, and then I can ship it off to the next enthusiast. This way, everyone gets a chance to use the socket without having to blow 200 bucks on something you'll rarely use. Just visit my website, jetfuelgarage.com, where you'll find the tool rental as well as other cool stuff like my custom wireless charging mat and the special tool to access your cabin air filter. Changing the plugs and coils themselves is pretty standard. It's all about having the right tools for all that tight access and just doing it a little different, the Porsche way, right? Now, I hope this video has helped you from making some of the mistakes and facing the frustrations that I did my first time around. The second time around though, it was quite a bit easier. Now, if you've done this job or you end up doing it, please come back to the comments and share your experience. My experience is only one, and you may have seen something else or hopefully found some better tools for the job. If you have, post them up in the comments below. Hey folks, thanks so much for watching the Jet Fuel Only channel. Stay fast, but stay safe. We'll see you next time.